break from Divorce Sisters. When I mean break, I did no reviews. Okay, so they had went to the gala, of course. Naomi pours scorching hot coffee on her ex-husband's wife. She's standing there, they're talking ish about her brother because her brother has a painting. Okay, if you haven't already, you need to watch Divorce Sisters. It is currently streaming on BEC Plus. It's starring your very own Latoya Luckett, Kadeen Andrea, Portia Coleman. Okay, I'm gonna mess up a lot of people's names, but I'm just it's a few that I can remember because I can't remember everybody's names. So I don't want to. I know. Hold on. Let me pull it up so that way I can do it. Divorce Sisters, it's taking a toll because I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I told people I had to put Geneva on the shelf because she was giving me Andy vibes. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, y'all. If anybody that knows me that's been in my sister's group, they know I don't know. I'm not a fan of Andy at all. I cannot stand that broad. But I will say this: the actress has nothing to do with it because the acting that means that you're doing a good job. Because if you're aggravating me that bad, you're doing a very good job. Okay, so we have Portia Coleman, we have Latoya Luckett, Jennifer Sears, Kadeen Andrea, Ronnie Rico Lee, Robert Christopher, and Brianna Pierce. Okay, I'm sorry if I mispronounce anybody's name. I am not good with names. And we have Devon Franklin, who is played by Devon Franklin is played. His character is Pastor Jeff, and he is married to Latoya Rasheeda. Now, mind you, this he goes to the gala. They're having conversations in the car, and she was like, I think I did say that he said he tells her he loves her every Sunday or whatever. It's a lot, y'all. So of course we're fast forwarding to more episodes. Not Geneva. Rasheeda gets left in the car. Jeff and her have a heated argument on the way home after they leave the hospital. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Naomi's ex-husband ends up almost calling her a B. He did. She's like, get your what? Get your what? I'm gonna go ahead and say, Pastor Jeff, I want to slap the fuck at you because how the hell you gonna let another man call your wife a bitch? No, sir. No. It just everything boils over. They have a heated conversation. She's like, he doesn't want her to be friends with Naomi, and she was asking about Myron. Are you in love with Myron, or does Myron in love with you, or whatever? And he was like, what are you talking about, or whatever. And so, of course, they have a heated argument, and he doesn't open the door for her, and Geneva stays the night in the car, and she is crying. Her kids catch her, and it was like, Mom, why did you stay outside? She's like, get on the bus or whatever. The kids get on the bus. Pastor Jeff comes outside. He was like, baby, you stayed the night. Where were you? He's like, you stayed the night in the car? She's like, and she's like, they have a little heated conversation, or like going back and forth, like very passionate arguing. And she was like, she gets out the car. She's like, you're not paying, like basically, I think she says he's not paying attention to her. So she takes the phone from him. She puts it on speaker. He was like, and you hear Myron say, hey baby, hello, can you talk, whatever? Are you alone, or can you talk? And she looking like, I know you fucking lying. That's the look she gave. I know you fucking lying. And it was funny, and he was like, he takes the phone from her. He's like, Myron, what you call this is such that my wife hears, and this is crazy. And then Myron was acting all embarrassed. But I'm going to go ahead and say, I didn't believe them at that scene. It seemed like it was, but it's like, no, something is going on. Myron is too obsessed with him because when the coffee was thrown on Naomi's ex-husband and his wife, Myron got hit, and Pastor Jeff got hit. So I'm gonna go ahead and say because they all got it, but his wife got it the most, and he got it because she had her dress with her back out. So, well, I would say the shoulders were coming down or whatever, and she got hit with the coffee, and she got hit with it the most. So it was really bad, y'all, and of course, Myron was so concerned about him put his hand on his knee or whatever, and it was just like really, really weird. You could tell that Myron's really obsessed with him because when Geneva had to go to the bathroom or whatever, and Rasheeda went back there to go check on her or whatever, Myron came and sat in her seat, and he was drinking from her water. And she said, "Is you drinking my water?" He's like, "No, First Lady, I'm not." Yeah, the hell you is. I like how Rasheeda is really checking Geneva and letting her know you are married because Geneva is really upset about, okay, Javon is trying to pursue Tiffany, and he says he's trying to do it just to make her jealous. I don't think he is. I think he does have feelings. Like he's starting to feel Tiffany, in my honest opinion. I know a lot of people are saying they think that he has to go on a date with her. Maybe that'll feel it. But I think he feels her just a little bit. But he really is trying to get under Geneva's skin, and Geneva just really, I don't know. what to think about Geneva. Geneva's really getting on my nerves because I'm gonna go ahead and say you have a husband at home. What is William not doing? And then she went to Maddie's mom yoga studio, and she asked like, can we have a play date? Girl, you look really cuckoo, but it's okay. There's a lot of women like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Everybody's on Geneva, and I was on it too. I'll admit that. There's a lot of Genevas out there, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this is not looking good on none of us, okay? And that's not me. I'm not saying it's all of y'all. It's some of y'all that are Genevas. There's a lot of Genevas out there. There's a lot of Rasheedas out there. There's a lot of Bridgettes out there. There's a lot of Tiffany's out there. I like the fact that Tiffany called after Jeff had like prayed and asked God like to give him like basically like to help him whatever. And Tiffany calls him. Tiffany doesn't ever call him. So he said, that was a sign from God, whatever. And they was talking, and she was asking how Rasheeda was doing, and then she ends up telling him about the frat party, how she was basically gang raped. And the next day she was trying to get out, and they were holding the door. So she said she'll never deal with anybody that didn't open the door. And I remember in the scene, one of the scenes she did say, when they first started dating each other, Jeff used to open the door for her. He never not opened the door for her. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. That one time could have messed up their whole marriage. But I'm also say this, Rasheeda, you should have told him about this. And some people are like, he could have used that against her. Regardless if he would have, would not. I don't think if he would have knew about this story, he would have never left her in the car. But I'm also say this, why he didn't go check on her. Because it's not making sense. Because your son came in there talking about a laptop, and you was like, where's your mom or whatever. Asked your mom, or he's like, I don't know where she's at. The daughter asked. I'm going to go ahead and say, these kids are very grown. And I'm going to go ahead and say, a lot of people are saying, my kid was not grown. There was a lot of kids. There's kids that's always been grown. From the 70s, 80s, 90s, they was getting their teeth knocked out. But I'm just going to say, these new generation kids, they're not getting knocked out as much as we was. Okay, cool. So let's wrap this up to this storyline. All of these kids are too grown. Yeah, some kids are a lot of grown. Because I was one of them. And people didn't like, but hey, it is what it is. But back to what I was saying. Rasheeda stayed the night in the car, and her and her husband had that heated arguments, and about Myron, and she left and went down to the house, and Tiffany told her you need to go talk to her, or whatever. And she was not trying to tell him the story. He was like, just tell her. And he was so upset, but he went down. I'm gonna go ahead and say he was a real man. He went in there and fixed it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it was a little sweet moment. I was expecting some booties to be bumped that we could see, but we didn't get to see it. My friend was like, let that go. I just wanted to see something. I wanted to see something. I was being a little personal. I just wanted to see something. Just don't mind me. But of course they may have had sex, and I think they did, but we just didn't get to see it. I'm just like, damn, what happened here? Why we couldn't see it? Just why couldn't we see a little step? I'm not asking for a lot, But maybe that's in Devon Franklin's clause to not have sex. I said it might be in his clause. I don't know what the hell is in his clause, okay? But, he was really loving. And I know people may say he's not sincere, but it seems sincere to me. And I'll be quick to say, no, that doesn't seem sincere. But it did seem sincere to me. He was trying to right his wrongs or whatever. Remember I said this, sir, baby, you didn't even check on your life. And he's just like, I've been, depressed or upset or whatever because, I really want this thing because I'm trying to have 3 services. But baby, she been carrying you. She been carrying you. Because when you didn't want to do the 3 services a day, she was 3 services on a Sunday. She was carrying for you. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. Rasheeda is that really protector for him. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. Myra's not going to be too happy about this. Because I think Myra really wants I think he really wants Pastor Jeff. Now, Calvin and Vaughn get into it, and because he's asking for some keys, he comes to Bridgette's house, and he confronts Vaughn, and Vaughn's like, you don't have no key, and he was like, he felt disrespect in his house. Sir, stop you right there. What house do you live in? You're living in Bridgette's house, so that's not your house. You're not even paying a bill. And I'm going to go ahead and say, Bridget, why are you with him? But I always heard that broke dick be better, so maybe that's why that broke dick. That's why she has him laying up in her bed. And he told her, he had the nerve to tell her she was talking too loud because he was trying to get some sleep. Because she was on the phone with Rasheeda or Tiffany. Not Rasheeda, either Tiffany or Geneva. And Geneva, after she had been at the police station all night with Tiffany and Javon, she went home, and then she went to go watch William, and she saw him and Maddie's mom out there because he gave her a sunflower. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. Geneva and Tiffany was over there laughing. Geneva's sitting there about the chest, about to cave in. I'm going to go ahead and say that you don't know how to read the room. People don't know how to read the room. Javon was making Geneva poorly over there. Like, she was hurting bad because he was talking to Tiffany. And Tiffany, she's being a little thirsty. Not even being a little thirsty, she is thirsty. And then when they got drove back to Naomi's house, I forgot, she got released from jail. She told Javon he can, like, call a car because he can't wait in the house with her. And after the whole thing about him talking to Naomi, she told Tiffany to ride with Bridgette, and Bridgette was like, but Tiffany's like, well, you gotta pass that way to go get that way where my car is at to go what's called. She said, well, I gotta make a private call. Geneva, just say you didn't want that girl in the house, because she got so mad because Javon and her had switched numbers before they went to Naomi's house, and they came out of Naomi's house after they'd been with her, and Javon had texted her, and Geneva was about to lose it, and it was just crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. William got baby girl up, Anika, and got her ready for school. Well, he didn't get her ready for school. Her nanny did. He took her to school, whatever, and that's when Geneva went to the school, and she was up there. He couldn't see her, but I'm gonna say that you weren't paying attention, because you could actually see her if you really paid attention, because her truck is very distinctive. Girl, it's just giving like, girl, go get help. Go get help. Go get help. And she's like, girl. She said, I ain't never had a man that big. Girl. May that love never find me. May that love never find me. But yes, we're gonna figure out what is gonna happen between Geneva and Javon, because she can't keep hiding it, and then he's about to buy a house next to her. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is gonna be a hot sex thing we're gonna see with Geneva and Javon when it finally do happen. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I'm going on a limb, I think William knows about them having an affair years ago, and that's why he's trying to make a parlay in front of Tiffany, and trying to push them off together, because Tiffany's a realtor, and she got called to show a house, basically, and she's waiting for the other agent. And Javon comes up with some flowers, and Geneva looking like, this nigga. Yeah. Javon is really working overtime, and it's really working. Yeah, because you had Geneva go to the yoga studio. But I'm going to say this. Are you really trying to make sure that William cheats so your sin won't look that bad? Baby, even if he did cheat, both of y'all wrong. Y'all both is wrong. And if William has not cheated on you, girl, we're gonna be side-eyeing you like Sanaa Latham. A Family of Praise. Chateau Bas. Girl, get this together. Vaughn texting Bridgette something about, he wanted to unalive himself, and then he was on the phone with her, and you heard gunshots. So, and then Pastor Jeff was trying to talk to him, and I like that he stepped into the pastor mode. He was trying to talk to him, and it wasn't really working. He's like, nobody wants me. Bridgette doesn't want me. My mom don't want me, and it was just really, really sad, and I really felt bad for him. But does anybody think that he unalived himself? Does anybody think that William messed with Maddie's mom? Does anybody think that Geneva is going to end up sneaking over to Javon's house and getting that cookie rocked on that Peter Weeder? Do you think Rasheeda has anything to worry about with Myron? Do you think the pastor's cheating on her? Do you think it's other people? Then when he started naming the women in the church that he thought were pretty or fine or whatever, and she looking like, okay. Do you believe him? Do you not believe him? Do you think Tiffany... Okay, do you think that Geneva should tell Tiffany? Yes, I do think she needs to tell her, but I'm going to say this. I know Tiffany probably would side-eye her like, girl, you cheated on William? Why? And Geneva, I just need you to tell her. I need you to go ahead and be... If y'all are friends, y'all ain't like, this is a circle. I said y'all was mature, but absolutely not. Y'all ain't the mature ones. So, yes, I just need you to tell Tiffany that, hey, I bumped uglies with Javon. And I... really care if you... Yeah, she's not like a damn fool. She said, I really mind if you back the hell up. Yeah, because that's my man. Yeah, you want two men? Girl, what you want? Because if you don't want William, girl, just leave him. But I'm going to say this. Does anybody think that baby Anika is his? And I'm still stuck on, y'all talked about having a child together and naming her Anika. And then you named Anika that. So I'm going to go ahead and say, it's Anika Javon. Yeah. I feel like Are they, but I'm gonna say this. Are they gonna talk about Naomi's ex-husband and Naomi's ex-husband? He just terrible, and they have a child together. Like, oh my God, when we get to see that, I'm gonna go ahead and say, Tyler, we don't need one episode. We need like 2 or 3. You could drop the whole dang on season because we could talk about this all day. Because we got so much to unpack with Divorce Sisters. Tyler is doing his thing with this Divorce Sisters, and I like it. I know that it was a scene mess up where you heard action, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say slip up happens. Y'all know Tyler film quick. And things happen because I'm even watching old episodes of House of Pain with Janine and all them, like old episodes, and I'm watching because my cousins love House of Pain and like Meet the Browns. I'm seeing a lot of mishappens there, but I don't. It's just okay. Stuff happened. People need to talk about other stuff. I've seen mishappen so much before. I'm like, did they see that? Did they see that? Because yes, Tyler is not the only one. Because even I do reviews for VC Andrews, and almost every family member dies for something tragic. Like one of the family members died in a fire. I think somebody else died in a fire. It's just like it's like if you really pay attention, I think the only last like trilogy that I've seen of the movies, the mom and dad didn't die. But usually the mom and dad die something crazy. So yes, just I'm just saying, I'm just throwing anything out there. But things slip ups don't happen. But I do just tighten up a little bit. But he's not doing it. So let's not throw so much shade on Tyler so much. And I want to hear, oh well, he's a bigger company. Yeah, but slip ups happen, honey. I just need somebody to be tightened up for that. Remember, Tyler did that to be petty because I'm Virgo. We petty as hell. So if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You don't miss any of my updates. You don't miss anything that I'm going to talk about. And I may not always be quick as everybody else, but I'm gonna get it done. All right, you guys, have a good one.